Good morning to everyone here. How are y'all doing? Good morning. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and help celebrate this great day, this great weekend for Nichol's 110th anniversary. That's amazing, right? We have several guests with us and some speakers and some dignitaries and some outlaws as well here to help us out. And so we'll introduce them as we go. Like I say, we'd like to welcome everyone here. First off, I'd like to say a little bit about the history of Nichols and also some of the relatives. And as far as I'm concerned, my history is a little bit different with this family. It's whereas my childhood was right beside them. We were neighbors on Starks Drive, the dead-end street in DeQuincy. So 25 years I was their neighbor. And if you're putting the math together yet, I was a late bloomer. It took me 25 years to grow up and move out of home. But anyway, we terrorized Starks Drive, didn't we, Layton, with bicycles and horseback, back when kids did those things. And man, I can tell you from experience, this is one of the finest families that I know. And I've seen it from a personal level in their house, in their homes. And theirs is mine. And so it was just, it's really special to me to be to raise next to these people and what they meant to me and my family. In my line of business or profession, what I do, you run into a lot of people from different places, all over the place. And when you meet somebody new and you introduce yourself, you tell them your name, and the next thing they ask you is, where are you from? And when I say DeQuincy, the very next thing out of their mouth is, oh, Nichols. And you'll find that, and what that speaks of is the longevity and the success of this establishment, that a town like DeQuincy, Nichols, pretty much you could say put it on the map with people because they know where it is and they love the store. I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Tyler Peterson, South Lake Charles, and he comes and visits me every once in a while, visits my family, and he'll pass up 2 or 3 of the big chains to come here and shop because he knows he's coming to DeQuincy. What he told me, he said, Rodney Paul, man, they got everything at Nichols, from firearms and ammo to camouflage lingerie and scented candles and everything in between. And that's the truth, right? You can get anything you want here. And so that's some stories that you hear about. And it is an honor and privilege to be connected with these people. And it is to have them as business people in our town, right? They represent DeQuincy very, very well. I couldn't imagine over 110 years, over so many different presidentials and economies, different economies that went up and down, and they stuck through it all, through all those different types of economies. When some businesses didn't make it, Nichols did. And I believe that speaks to the success and to the type of people who have ran Nichols throughout the years and managed it. It speaks of them and their success and work ethic and not quitting. So at this time, first we want to introduce a few people. Obviously, the first person we need to introduce is Mr. Rusty Irwin, who we know him affectionately as Musty. You're welcome. He cornered me in the back and said, hey, you just look at me when it's my time to talk. And I said, I'm going to have to run that through your boss, Tricia. Next, his son, obviously, Layton Irwin, and his daughter, Tricia. Is she? There she is. And Hugh Irwin, who's not here today with us. Their great nephews, Kendall Royer and Winston Royer. And importantly, Mr. Rusty's sister, Colleen Pender. Colleen, are you here?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to read a brief history of how we got where we are today. Around this time, 110 years ago, H.A. Nichols, which would be Mr. Rusty's grandfather, is that correct?
Right.
Opened the very first Nichols store here in DeQuincy. He had saved about $1,200 from working in a sawmill with a wage of $1.50 a day. The first store was located next to his home, followed by several other locations downtown, one of which is where the DeQuincy City Hall is actually located today. Mr. and Mrs. Ike Irwin donated the site to the city sometime after the 1980s. Between 1914 and 1977, Mr. Nichols owned 16 stores throughout central and western Louisiana. After his death in 1948, his son Truman oversaw those locations, and his daughter and son-in-law, Barbara and Ike Irwin, assumed the operation of the DeQuincy store. Throughout this time, all of Barbara and Ike's kids, Sandra, Sharon, Rusty, and Colleen, all helped out in the family business. Mr. Rusty recalls his first job was getting to count the coins in the till. Next, he got to print marking labels and highlight. His highlight as a young boy was running the fireworks stand on the sidewalk beside the store. You don't imagine Mr. Rusty lit some of them off, do you? In 1970, Rusty and his wife Pam returned from the Air Force and joined his parents. This is when the plan started to build a new modern store. In 1973, construction began on a 30,000 square foot building where we're standing today. In the new building, the Irwin's daughter, Colleen, opened Nichol's Pharmacy. The pharmacy was such a needed asset to the business and this community, and was open for over 40 years. In the 1980s, Rusty's children, which are Mr. H.A. Nichol's great-grandchildren, Leighton and Tricia, joined the business. And recently, Rusty's great-nephews, Kendall Royer and Winston Royer, which would be Mr. H.A. Nichol's great-great-grandchildren, joined as well. Throughout the years, many other family members have spent time working and making countless contributions to the store. It takes a village, and then some. So that was just a brief history. Let's see, we have some speakers here today. I think I'll turn it over first to our mayor, Mr. Raleigh Smith. Would you please welcome him here today, Mr. Raleigh Smith?
What an honor it is to be here today. And I will tell you that in my line of business, usually the third generation is where the business goes. And a lot of times in the funeral business, the third generation of the owners, that's when they sell out to a corporate and things like that. So that tells you a lot about this family, how many generations are involved. This and the business is still strong today. 110 years of being in business, serving the DeQuincy area, and I know that this family has done a lot for this community. They've helped a lot of people, and what can you say about them? I've never heard one thing bad about this family. I've never heard one thing bad about Nichols. Now, being in DeQuincy, that's a miracle in itself right there. But we're here to celebrate. We hope that y'all continue to do better, and we want you to add on. It's a 30,000 square foot building. We want a 100,000 square foot building. And I will tell you this also, that when I was coming up here today, I told my wife, I said, hey, I've got to go to Nichols to, they're having an anniversary service, and I said, I'm going to go there. And she normally tells me when I'm going to something that's political and I have to speak, she says, I'm not going to go. I don't want to go. And she was already in the car before I said that. But, you know, I've noticed that she shops a lot. So I do know that my family supports this very much. And, but again, guys, congratulations for 110 years of service. DeQuincy needs Nichols. And y'all have done very, very good in our community. And we want y'all to do better. We want y'all to make more money. We like that sales tax, so keep on selling as much as you can. You know, I think this weekend you're not doing any sales tax, so I'm not too shy of that, but we'll talk later about that. But again, congratulations to y'all. I know you still got to pay it, but anyway, I do want to thank y'all so much for what y'all do for the community. And it is, you do not know what this family does behind the scenes. That no one gets recognized, they don't take any recognition from that. And it just shows you when you're good and you do good in the community, they are blessed. And I truly believe that this family is blessed. Thank you for your services. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce the president of the Chamber Southwest, Mr. George Swift.
I could stand up, but I think I'll just remain seated. On behalf of the Chamber Southwest, we represent the 5 parishes of Southwest Louisiana, and we like to think regionally. and we work with the DeQuincy Chamber, but there's truly no business in our region that's any more regional than Nichols. And just as was said earlier, when you say DeQuincy, Nichols is the next thing that you think of. And we're very pleased that there are members of the Chamber Southwest. We have Paula Ramsey, our Vice President of the Chamber, with us here, and Amanda White, our Vice President of Communications. And we're just glad to be a part of this. You know, when you think about 110 years in business, less than 1% of all the retailers in the nation have made it over 100 years. I mean, this is unique in itself. There's no other business like it in Southwest Louisiana. My family, I'm from Alabama, don't hold that against me, but I've been here a long time, 35 years, and this is home now. But my family had a drugstore, Swift Drug Company, and they closed 2 years ago due to my cousin's ill health. But they only made 106 years, but this is 110. This is amazing. And I think we've got one of your pharmacists back here. Mr. Valley, where is he?
Lewis, Rotten Slim.
That's Lewis. He was telling me about the pharmacy here. So, but anyway, we're glad to be here, be a part of it. This is a tremendous occasion to make this milestone, and we appreciate y'all very much. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to introduce the DeQuincy Chamber of Commerce President, Mr. Jay DeLuche. Here he is. DeLuche.
Thank you, Ronnie Paul.
That's French. I thought you were French.
It's French.
Okay.
Is this home?
Yes, sir.
It can be Italian depending on what crowd you're in.
Hold that close to you.
Hold it up. I just want to thank everybody for coming out today, and my name is Jay DeLuche. I'm the president of DeQuincy's Chamber of Commerce this year, and it's a great honor to be here today on behalf of the Chamber at Nichol's 110th anniversary. I was thinking this morning on my way here, you know, we're kind of coming into the holiday season, and at my house, we have lots of Nichols goods at the holidays. My wife likes to decorate, and generally she decorates our kitchen table, and we usually have a nice arrangement with things that are bought from this store. And that kitchen table is very welcoming, and it's very, you know, you want to sit there and you want to have a meal and you want to visit with family and you want to reminisce. And it occurred to me that if DeQuincy was the kitchen table, Nichols would be the centerpiece. There is just no doubt about that. And we are so proud of this store. And to echo what the mayor has said and what Mr. Swift has said, it's just, Nichols is the center of the community, is from a business standpoint. But I want to make the point, because I happen to know a couple of individuals that work here since they were children. And it's so nice to see family members coming on into the business and continuing the 110-year history. That's just phenomenal. You know, if you think about it, we have our own Sam Walton family here. I mean, Nichols is really like that. Nichols, that's how Sam Walton's family started out. They started out with a single store. And Nichols has done the same thing. And you come in this store and you look around, and we don't have stores like this anymore, right? And to be able to stay in this environment and compete against big box stores and stay in business for 110 years, that is just as a business person myself, and as the chamber president who represents business people, that's a hands down accomplishment. And not enough can be said about that. But even more than that, even more important than that, thank you, is the family. And the mayor touched on it. I can tell you, both as a business member in this community, as just a individual living here who shops here regularly, the family is what makes the store. The family. The store is great, but I can tell you there's never been, and I'm involved in a lot of functions here. A lot of school functions, a lot of raffles, and I can tell you that every one of those times, the first place that anybody thinks to go to have an item donated is Nichols. They never, whether it's a gun or whether it's something else, they never blink an eye at helping the community. And so for that, I just want to say thanks. And again, it's an honor to be here, and we're so happy that you're celebrating this today. Thank you.
When I spoke about outlaws, I guess earlier, I think this is where we are now in our lineup. Mr. Roger Marcantel, our police juror, would you please come up and share with us at this time?
Well, you know, as elected officials, we can't accept gratuities or anything else, and we never do. But the jeans and boots I have on came from Nichol. Now, I'm not getting any gratuity for that, at least Rusty said I wasn't, so anyway. But I think something that's even greater, and we go to a lot of ribbon cuttings, as police jurors you have to go. We don't go to any like this, not 110 years, but I think something that's even greater than the business being here 110 years, the same family has run this establishment for 110 years. Now, I've been knowing Rusty, I'm not gonna say how many years, but my entire life, which is 77 years. So, I mean, he's been here. When you walk in this store, you're gonna see one of the descendants from the Nichols family in here, whether it's Tricia, Leighton, Rusty, whoever it is. One of them's gonna be in this store, most of the time, 3 of them. So as a police jury, I'd like to present this to them. It's a, first of all, let me introduce Mr. Anthony Barty, who's the president of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. Certificate of recognition presented by the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury on this first day of November 2024 to Nichols Dry Goods Company in honor and recognition of the 110th anniversary celebration. Congratulations on your impressive history and best wishes in the future.
I just want to say congratulations on 110 years, and thank you for your service to the community. The legacy that you and your family have put forth, you see it in everybody's faces that showed up here today. So again, thank you.
Also, we'd like to recognize, I don't know if we're going to speak or not, but please help me by welcome our school board representative, Mr. Tony O'Bannon.
Oh, yeah.
Would you have some words to say? You can, okay.
Is that another outlaw? I don't know.
Well, we're not
Where
gonna
are
talk
you
about
from?
that. I can't say. No, I do, from a school board perspective, I'm echo Riley's sentiments. We appreciate the sales tax. And I know, I collect it too, and you just pass it on, and my wife supports y'all. I do too, but her a whole lot more, but it is really a big deal, like Roger said, to be here this long and for a family-owned business, but I also support all of y'all. I appreciate all your support for our schools, the students, employing our students when they get out, and I really do appreciate y'all being here. Thank you.
Mr. Stitch Guillory, is he here? He's not here? Okay. Maybe he got a call. He's a sheriff fighting crime, serving his community. Well, at this time, we're going to have some closing words. And like I said, we do, on behalf of the family, like to thank all of y'all for coming up and making this whole weekend special. Miss Tricia, are you going to close us out? Okay.
I don't even know where to begin, and I'm going to try not to cry. Somebody hold it together. The gratitude that we have as a family for everybody. It doesn't just start with our family, it goes generations, and it takes everybody. It takes all of our employees, people that have been here, worked for us for many years, the people that have passed and gone on. There's too many to count. When you think back 110 years, it's just, I can't even comprehend the hardships throughout all the generations. I know the hardships we've had in our generation, but I can't imagine the hardships before. Depression, wars, viruses, hurricanes. Thank you, Jesus, we made it through another hurricane season, so we're thankful for that. When Leighton and I both started working, we just kind of got busy. We just got in and did whatever we needed to do. Dad didn't teach us by instruction and this is how you do this and this is how you do that. He led by example, and in some ways he kind of threw us to the wolves, you know, and we figured it out. Or if we didn't, we learned the hard way. But I think the point is he gave us good examples about hard work, good ethic, and you know, trying to have your own imagination and thinking outside of the box and figuring out things for yourself. A lot of times today that doesn't happen. You know, you got to learn some creativity and try to figure out things on your own. And it's hard for me to do that sometimes too. Anyway, Dad has given this business his heart and soul, and many times with personal and family sacrifices. Something Leighton and I have had to do as well, and the next generation will have to do the same. So many family members chose different career paths because they saw the many sacrifices that, you know, their parents, their grandparents, they all had and made. Thankfully, you know, Leighton's children chose a different career path, and lots of other cousins did too. But our cousins, Darren and Heather Royer, had two of their kids that wanted to join the business. And I say kids, they're grown now. But anyway, we're thankful for that. Dad and Leighton and I just kind of ended up here, you know, it just kind of happened. And we're thankful for that. I can't imagine doing anything else, really. We've also learned to kind of have thick skin in this business. When you endure all the hardships and challenges in operating a business today and at any time, it's always been our long-standing goal to support our employees, our family, and our community. And as most small businesses, I look around, there's Mr. Fausto back there. There's, you know, people who do this all the time, and it's not easy, but we try to support one another. And we could not do any of this here today without the commitment to employees, to our customers, our vendors, our families, and the good Lord above. I mean, we've been blessed beyond anything we could imagine, but it takes all of us to make this happen today, and it's very humbling to even, you know, it's hard for me to express the gratitude, but I'm very, very thankful for each and every one of you. So with that being said, okay.
Don't forget about the backbone. Your mother.
Yes, I skipped that part and I didn't mean to when I was reading. My mother is not here today. She's at the doctor's office. An appointment and availability came up and she took it. We encouraged her to.
She's the best cook around.
Yes, and she is the silent leader behind us all that pushes us quietly and discreetly. And we wouldn't be here today without her, your sisters that are gone before us, Aunt Colleen, your parents, their parents. It's a tremendous legacy, and I'm just privileged to be a little tiny part of it. So, thank y'all. Okay, yes, now we're gonna have ice cream and cookies and ribbon cutting.
She said to remind you about the ice cream and cookies that's outside. And so at this time, we're going to do an official ribbon cutting to help celebrate this. So we would like to ask all of y'all to please move to the storefront.